My name is Cassius Lewis. My parents and grandparents are residential school survivors. The traumas of being taken from their culture and everything they know has impacted them, and addiction has played a part in their lives as well as mine and my siblings. At the age of 5, I was apprehended into foster care along with my younger sister and my younger brother and my older sister. Although we had a rough upbringing, we were blessed with safe parents we now call Mom and Dad. We witnessed and experienced all kinds of abuse and trauma that had stayed with us even now as adults. I have been in and out of abusive relationships and have dealt with an alcohol addiction since I was 18. I'm 26 years old. Only time I didn't drink was when I was pregnant with my son and started again when he was 9 months. I tried a 3-month treatment program at 23 and stayed sober for a year and a half, but had relapsed because they didn't have the right tools. I had struggled from undiagnosed mental health issues as well. Custody of my son was taken and given to my parents because of it, and I tried to end my life. I felt lost and didn't want to live without something to numb the pain. While I was living with an abusive partner and in deep addiction, and after getting beaten for the last time, I remembered a sermon that my pastor Kyle, had preached the last time I went to church with my family. How basically if you cry out to God with all your heart, He will hear you and answer your prayers. I cried out with tears rolling down my face, praying He would save me from the life I was living. He did just that, and I had managed to make it to Red Deer Women's Shelter. From there, I got in a place of my own and had gotten visits with my son. We went to family camp that year and I met Mel and heard a testimony from a participant who went to Rising Above in Grand Prairie, a 6-month faith-based program. God really spoke to me and my mom's heart. After a lot of prayer, I had applied and gotten accepted right away. Things had fell into place by the grace of God. I even went to Disneyland with my son and my family before leaving to rehab. When I had gotten to Rising Above, the staff and participants made me feel at home right away. I had asked God for patience because of my short temper, and He sent me a roommate who had asked me to fight her within the first month. God works in funny ways. I learned to take my struggles to inner healing and listen to what God has to tell me while sitting in the most uncomfortable feelings. The first time I had inner healing, the facilitator had asked me to revisit a time of trauma where my late father was abusing my bio mother. I tried to get out of going there with excuses I'd made in the past about PTSD and panic attacks. The facilitator redirected me by asking if I had seen God at work in my life, and that part was easy. After walking in blind faith, God had answered all my prayers. She brought me back to that moment, and I was able to share the trauma and realize Jesus was with me the whole time. He was with me through every memory and flashback. Jesus was with me through every feeling I've tried to run from my whole life. I made new friends and felt happy again. The classes were my favorite, learning how to be healthy and even in simple conversations. I learned about healthy relationships. I learned about how my humor is a defensive mechanism. I got diagnosed and put on a medication. Rising Above has blessed me immensely. I graduated on April 12th, 6 months and 1 day from when I started, October 11th, 2022. I'm still walking in blind faith. My bio mother has been on the streets. My bio father was murdered when I was 6, and my younger brother and older sister are often incarcerated and on the streets, struggling from drug addiction. I'm currently 1 year and almost 4 months sober and working on getting my son back home. My relationship with my family is intact, and I'm living a healthy lifestyle. Thanks to Rising Above and the grace of God.